gotta rap while we walking, like, you know, but even though at the time, and still is, you know, was my favorite rapper, and, you know, it was like, it was just an amazing moment. It was like I was so nervous, pressure every Friday on that show. So I knew how to perform being nervous, right? So he stopped in the middle of the exit and was just like hearing me out. And bro, I had so many verses because I've been writing a new verse every week that I was rapping for like 10 minutes straight. He took the CD. He was like, "You got any music?" And I had my CD. And then that was the initial like meeting of it. It took 2 years after that though. You know, it took 2 years after that, you know, and there was a lot of ups and downs that I went through, a lot of depression, a lot of like me having to rely on my faith. But that was the initial meeting point. And it just goes to show that like when you live in your purpose, when you live in just out of like, I was just doing that show just because it was just, that was what I love to do. And it was crazy how all of that led up to that moment. You know what I mean? And it might have not worked out like that if I hadn't been doing it like that.
You know, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty an amazing story because it just don't happen like that. And, you know, there's always, you know, people's stories are different. So even you got signed, which sounded like a miracle by Kanye West, who's my favorite rapper as well. But you had to sit for 4 years before your shit came out.
Yeah.
You know, some people they're very, very talented and they blow up overnight, and some people, it takes a while. I watch Rick Ross out here performing and trying to get on and trying to blow up for 10 years.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you're gonna get your lucky shot if your heart is in the right place and you're doing it for the right reasons. You know, luck is when that preparation meets opportunity. So yeah, those 4 years of me graduating high school and then finally getting signed in 2000 and the end of 2007 to Good Music, and then 2008 to Def Jam. My album didn't come out to 2011. So in that time, you know, I graduated high school with a 3.7 GPA.
So let me ask you something, Sean. How do you pay your bills this time? Because I know they give you an advance, but they definitely ran out, right?
Yeah, I mean, the deal. Look, I wasn't an artist who like had a popping like a single going or nothing like that. He just signed me straight off of just he heard me rap and I had nothing going. So yeah, you know, my first advance was, bro, I don't even want to say the number, but it was something where it wasn't a lot.
Yo,
at
Sean,
all.
you know they call me Joker Winfrey. We got something called a Joker moment. If you say what the advance was, that's what we call a joke. We like to hear we never heard before. What was the advance? 50,000? What was it?
No. My first advance was $15,000, bro.
Oh,
so
God!
So
that ain't last 4 years.
No. So and at the time where I had to everybody around me was like, "Oh, he signed to Kanye, right?" So you gotta imagine all my friends was in school, everybody I knew was in school, and they would always hit me like, "Man, what's going on? Like, what you doing?" Like, bro, I'm still in the same crib that I grew up in. You feel me? I'm still at my mama's house. It's like I'm trying to stack my bread. You feel me? And you know, it was a moment where it was like I didn't know if this was gonna work out. Now, peep, I came from a family where my grandma was one of the first female black captains in World War II. My granddad was in World War II. Education was a way to a better life for them. My grandma was a teacher. My granddad was a teacher. My mom was a teacher. They all had master's degrees. So when I didn't go to school, when I turned down my academic scholarship, it was a big deal to my family. And my mom was really the one who supported me. And the rest of my family, they still supported me, but they didn't agree with me, though. You know, my grandma, it was tough for her to accept that, like, how my grandson that I've been saving up for him to go to college is not going to college. So, yeah, I had a record deal and was spending the money that she saved up for me for college on studio sessions, bro. But that's how much I believed in it. And that's how much, you know, and lo and behold, to fast forward, I ended up buying my mom and my grandma a house. You know, I ended up moving them out of where we was from and into a a gated community, and you know, it's a beautiful story how it ended up. But yeah, it started with a lot of it tested my faith, bro. Those years, I had to link with people who, you know, I had to form a relationship with musically, and start putting out mixtapes and build my fan base. I was doing shows for $250, $500, $1,000, and it grew from there. You know, and then when I put out Finally Famous Volume 3, before I put my album out, that was the mixtape that, you know, really helped me solidify my core fan base, I feel like. And, you know, I started working with No Idea. I started taking trips, and that's when I got my first apartment. But that wasn't until 2010, you know, and my album dropped in 2011. So,
man, I got a better story for you. I
okay.
put out a record that went #1 in the country, and I was still only getting $500 a show. So my first single, Flojo, #1, and I was getting $500 a show. So I was going from like Connecticut to New Jersey to the Bronx like the same night, trying to hustle 1,000, 1,500. So it could look like, you could look like you lit, like you on, but the money ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to understand, the process is different for everybody, you know, and that's a journey that God chose for you.
For everybody, bro.
For everybody. Everybody's DNA, everybody's process in life is different. And that was the process for you.
Yeah.
You know, Kanye West, my favorite rapper too.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite rapper too. And I love Kanye West. And
he gave me an opportunity that changed my life, bro. That's why no matter what, it's just like a lot of people get mad at things like, oh, yeah, but he ain't give me a fair this or this right amount of money here and this and that. But one of the things that he gave me, bro, over anything was an opportunity. And that's something that money can't buy always. You know what I mean?
And continue to give you opportunity. And that's what happened with Khaled. Got this thing where he says no business deal is a bad deal. He says, as long as it's getting us to the victory, to where we got to go, he looks at it as a blessing. And I look at it the same way. I look at it like, yo, as long as we learn from everything and we go on, and then the value that Kanye also brings to you, because you're amazing, you're talented. But if you think about good music, like it's Pusha, it's 2 Chainz, it's Yeezy, it's you. I mean, ain't nobody with that right there. Like, you know, Lamborghini Mercy.